Today we're talking about Superman Godfall. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent, and today we're talking about Superman Godfall. Yes, this has a Michael Turner cover, and the entire book does, like the 6 issues collected in here, all have Michael Turner covers, but this is not Michael Turner's book. This is written by Michael Turner and Joe Kelly, apparently, but this is really Talent Caldwell's Superman run in terms of who's doing the art. I find it kind of strange that they chose Michael Turner to do Superman covers, and I think they were promoting it as Michael Turner comes to Superman, that sort of thing, but in actuality, it's Talent Caldwell doing the interiors here, and he is he's an Aspen guy, so you could say he's a Michael Turner clone or imitator or whatever, but I gotta say, there's a lot more feeling in his stuff, in his art, than there is Michael Turner's, at least at this point in time, that I read. Like, you could go read the Supergirl arc from Superman Batman and look at that and look at this, and I would say that, while Michael Turner is very stylized, this has more emotion and more acting. So I do kind of want to say that not Michael Turner, what's his name? Talent Caldwell is very talented. I'm sure he's never heard that before, but I feel like he actually is the better artist here. You still have a lot of the things that Aspen was famous for: the curvy women, good-looking people, these overly massive biceps. I mean, it's kind of reminiscent of Ed Benes there. If you remember Ed Benes in the early 2000s on his Justice League stuff, that kind of reminds me here. But this is basically a story that ran across the 3 Superman titles for 2 months. You got issues of Superman, Action Comics, and I think Adventures of Superman in here. And they basically took over Superman for this story. And there's like a lot of things going on in this previously in Superman that, like, honestly, it goes back almost to the beginning of Superman. Like, not just what happened in the past couple issues, but basically what you need to know is in this last paragraph is Superman is tumbling through time for reasons and ends up in Kandor. So you don't really find out. It just starts fresh in Kandor. So if you want to read this as Superman's trapped in Kandor and how does he get out, that's basically the premise of this book. So it turns out there's someone keeping him prisoner in Kandor, and they escape to Earth because they think that he's a god. Like, in Kandor at this time, there's some like weird time dilation where they remember Superman, but they view him as a god instead of a person. So, and since he hasn't been to Kandor in so many years, because time's different down there when you're shrunken as this, Kandor is the shrunken city that Superman takes care of a lot. It's basically like a bunch of miniature Kryptonians and stuff like that. He is taking care of them, but he's kind of forgotten about them because he's been so busy, and then time speeds up down there, so they think he's a god or, never really existed, that sort of thing. So you have a lot of other characters running around with the L crest on their chest, the way that, I was trying to find that villain here that I was showing. So that's Doomsday, it's not the guy running around. But all in all, it's a pretty, here you go, this, you can't see, I picked the one where you can't see his chest. He's running around with the Superman crest because he's part of the, like, city guard or something like that in Kandor, and they all wear the L crest because they worship Superman as God. It's not really explored that well or explained. I'm kind of over-explaining everything that's in the book because I don't feel like it was really thought out. Like, honestly, this is a thing I would be interested to read if it was 12 issues or 8, where you spent a lot more time in Kandor than you did on Earth, whereas by the middle of the 3rd issue, Superman is breaking out of Kandor to return to Earth to save Metropolis and his wife Lois, and that's kind of it. So it becomes a pretty basic Superman story about halfway through. The real interesting stuff is Talent Caldwell's art and the stuff that they're doing with Kandor at the time, with the these police guys all wearing Superman crests, Superman as a god. But again, that's all sped through very quickly in order to get Superman back out of Kandor battling people with his powers, because when he's in Kandor, he doesn't have his powers. So I say that all to say, I guess, that Superman Godfall it's never really been talked about as a great Superman story, and I kind of agree that with that point. It's not a great Superman story. It's just kind of this neat little artifact of, hey, remember when Michael Turner was super hot and before he came over to do Superman Batman and he did something with DC Comics, this is it. Like, that's kind of the pitch here. So, yeah, I guess if you want to look at Talent Caldwell's art, it's certainly worth reading. But I feel like there's other things you could find there also. But yeah, I really do like Talent Caldwell, and I wouldn't mind seeing him back on some mainstream books that I'm reading now. So I think he's a phenomenal artist. So there you have it. My thoughts on Superman Godfall. Let me know what you guys think of this story down below in the comments, and we'll see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.